Monday was Giggles day. Oh my gosh, he got his haircut. What a pain in the hiney. My God, that took me almost all day. By the time I was done, I just collapsed on the couch. It was more emotional because I'm so tied to that boy. He's just gorgeous, and his wool just kept growing and growing. And I was trying so hard to salvage it in the most pristine way, and then to have it on camera. Lord, that of course adds to the stress. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to tip the camera up, so I don't really have any announcements today other than that. And I've got Mr. Macaroon. He's a fawn F2. He had his belly and dewlap trimmed about a month ago because I just couldn't get to the top side. And I almost waited too long to do his top side. But I blew him out today. He's got a few mats behind his tail and things going on. But we're going to clean him up and harvest his wool today. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I wonder if I should try to save his wool the same way I saved. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it normally. So anyway, I'm going to show you first my, I better move my camera. Hang on. Here we go. I think that's up there far enough. First, we'll take a sneak peek at, this is what I entered in off Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival last October. This was from my long-haired, this is a chestnut. How in the, no, is that part of her? No, how did that chestnut get in there? That's lovely chestnut. So this is English Angora. And that was her prime coat, about 8 inches. And there's 3 layers in here. I did the same thing I did Monday with her, and it worked really well. I had a bigger tub. It was one of those that's about 4 inches deep, but longer and wider. Laid the tissue down, made a row of her fiber, put another layer of tissue, repeated until we got her all done. And anything that wasn't pristine like this, I just put in the appropriate buckets, whether it was prime or seconds or thirds, and went with that. So this won me a big ribbon, you guys. Yeah, and some cash. That was pretty awesome. So it'll pay for my entry fees and then some, right? For next time. So I got really high marks on it. Soundness was 10. Staple formation, 9. Evenness of staple, length overall fleece, 9. Consistency of quality overall, 8. And out of 25 points, I got 23 for clean fleece. Well, yeah, it was pretty clean. Freedom from fault. It means freedom from kemp, veggie matter, mud, skirting, or any other acquired faults. I ranked a 7. That's interesting. Handle, 7. Staple formation, I already covered that. Crimp and luster was 8. That was even and well defined throughout. Staple, appropriate for breed and class. Yeah. So overall, my points on this was 86 out of 100. And it's weighing in at 8 ounces. And I was charging $20 an ounce. I think I'll do that. I was thinking Monday I might enter this in the Woolskin and Garment Contest. I know one of the rules that it has to be harvested or whatever you make to be entered in the wool skein and garment contest, it has to be done finished within that year. So this qualifies. Yeah, so that might be entered. So drum roll, please. Oh my gosh. This is Giggles. Look what I got here. Ooh. I even put a piece of tissue on top. Why, I don't know. Isn't that just beautiful? Holy cow. And the rings, you guys. It's kind of interesting. Almost all my rabbits do this, but at a certain point within the growth, of course, you can see the color and the rings. Then it kind of runs out of toner. It's white. That used to bother me so much. I'm trying to be ever so careful. But as I hand spin it or I blend it with stuff, it doesn't matter. I wish it was all solid gray. But I guess if I would harvest it while it was still, hi Anthony. That's not Anthony. That's Paul. Hi Paul. So I'm going to take this out ever so carefully. Oh my gosh, I'm mucking it up. What I want to do is count the tissues. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The more I handle it, there's no way, and there's 4. So the reason I'm doing that, I want to weigh how much fiber is in here. So I went and grabbed an empty tub. Here's my little scale. Where's my empty tub? Right here. And I'm going to grab my tissue. There's 4 pieces of tissue. No matter how hard I try, this isn't going to be exact, but it's going to be close, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and I don't know what I did with the lid, so I'm going to borrow the lid off of Giggles because it weighs something. I'm going to turn my scale on, get my pen so I can write this down. Okay, so that's an empty tub with a lid and 4 pieces of tissue. I'm zeroed out. I'm going to go to ounces. I'm going to put that on top of Macaroon. He's like, what's going on in here? So I have says it's 12 grams. 0.4 ounces. Is that right? 4 ounces. 0.26 pound. Yeah, not very much fiber. Giggles. Of course, that was what, a 7-month coat? Almost an 8-month coat. And how many brushings and blowings did he have? So many. So many. So a lot of his fiber, especially towards the end, went in my dye pot pile. And it was considered seconds because it's brushings. Hey, mister. Gosh, I'm going live, so don't pee on anything and don't embarrass me, please. People are watching. Macaroon. He's such a pretty boy. Yes, you are. But about a month ago, I got to shear him. But I did what I do with my non-showing bunnies. I shear their belly and their legs to keep them comfortable. And then when I have time, I'll come back and do their top side. So that's what I'm going to do today, is finish his top side. Mr. Macaroon, he's an F2. He's mostly French. His mama is Twinkles, a black F1. She's half giant and half French. And then I bred her back to my purebred Frenchie, Mr. Pumpkin Spice, my local fawn boy. He's branded and registered as a French. So I was doing some breeding this winter, and it's like, okay, well, you guys would make beautiful babies, and boy, howdy did they do that. Now he's got pretty good furnishings. Look at that on his ears. Beautiful tassels. Some of this webbing up here, that's going to go directly into my seconds. Now he's been blown this morning, so most of this is nice and clean. He's got some new growth coming in. See, that'll teach me for slacking. Because if I was to trim right next to the body, I would get those little pieces and the longer piece. And this I hope to put into my Sinfully soft yarn. So those little pieces I don't want in. So he's going to get, not today, but all total, he might get 2 haircuts. One for harvesting, and that's my own fault for not doing it on time. So if you start to see some of this new growth and you want to harvest it for your wool production, don't wait this long, because it's probably an inch long now. Not quite, but it's an inch. And it's that way all over. And I don't think he's pluckable. We can try that too. Don't get on my iPad, mister. What is it with you guys in my iPad? But he feels really nice. The guard hair, sometimes I de-hair before I shear. And it doesn't feel rough. If it's overly prominent, then I might take a few minutes and de-hair before I shear, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, how are you? You're a sweet boy. Do you want to get a haircut today? Because I want to grab this fiber before we ruin it all together. Yes, we do. Hopefully I'm not making too much noise. I put my little... Yes. I'm trying to hold him securely. Now see where I trimmed him about a month ago? It's grown out, and along the edges it's felting. So that will go in my seconds pile. That won't go in my Simply Soft. And I'll show you a trick too. Monday, who was it? It was Ravishing that had his pre-big show trim. This is 2 months before a big show, which is, for him, West Coast Classic. And this is the same trim I did for all my COD animals. They were growing their top side while we were growing out their. We wanted them to be comfortable. Yeah, I'm just going to gently, can I do that? Now, if he was to flinch, I would say, no, I can't do that. He can't tell me that he's uncomfortable, but he can sure show me. So I try to be sensitive to his feelers. So anyway, Ravishing had this haircut, and it's basically the same one that he did. The only difference is on this guy, I knew he wasn't a show bunny, and I wanted him to be very comfortable. So I went ahead and sheared his dewlap and around his neck and behind his ears pretty aggressively. Yeah. So Ravishing, he had his whole belly, and we went up to his armpits and kind of drew a line here. So we did his whole belly. We did not do his dewlap. We trimmed a little bit around the back of his ears, but we left, and then we did basically the same haircut. Again, he was a little more aggressive. Trimmed. I did more on his butt and back, but as you see, he's already got some of it. So I'm going to kind of hand separate this just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. But that will all go in my dye pot because it's really long. And there is not a darn thing wrong with all of this stuff. It's just slightly webbed. Even though I blew it out, it's still webby. If I wanted to have a show coat and it was in this condition, I would take the time and separate it and then flick it out. But he's not. He's strictly wool production. We're not sure what his future is going to be. Yeah. We'll look at your body type when we get all done here. But look how sweet he is. Now, this is one thing that now let me look. Are you straight? Your head is a little cocked. Well, his feet are pretty straight. And there's a good distance, not too much, not too little, between his feet. You want him to be parallel. Because if they're like this, that's really bad. It influences their body type. They're pinched, they call it. But at first I was looking at it like, well, you're not pinched. Your legs look pretty good. Yep. And I even trimmed his tail. So I'm going to leave all that alone. I'm just going to get the really long stuff. And what I'll do probably is start with the Maddie stuff. Get that out of my way, for the most part anyway. And then I'll get my scissors out and I'll start on his top side. And I'll try to go just an inch above his skin. So that new growth, I'm trying my best to avoid it at all costs. Shall we try to do that at all costs? But all this stuff that's kind of webbed. So on, just FYI, while I'm right here, I'm going to pretend that this is Ravishing in a month, right? Since he had his pre-show day hair trim, he's going to have the same issues with his side here. And all you have to do to keep his top side and everything looking good is I just take my brush. Maybe I can show you a little bit. I'm going to pretend he's a show bunny. About once a week, You have to stay on top of it. Brush this out. Shall we do that just for fun? We're going to pretend that you are going to a show in about a month or two. So I'm going to separate this, and I'm just going to brush out that webbing. And we're going to blow it out at least once a week so it doesn't get this bad. So you're going to keep that side wool really nice. Ideally, what's going to happen with ravishing, and maybe I'll show you when we get closer to West Coast Classic. Now look at all this wool. There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's going to go in my seconds for my hand spinning and dye pot. I just put all that together. But by the time Ravishing grows out another 2 inches on his belly, this will be about the same length. But to a judge, it's going to be almost indistinguishable between the belly wool and the side, as long as you keep this ridge line brushed out and cleaned up. Don't let it get all webbed up, because it just will happen. It doesn't have any protection. It's raw, beautiful fiber, and it's getting some friction from his movements throughout the day. See, that didn't take very long, so it's nice again. So that's all that. Yeah. You're such a good boy. You're so nice and calm. This is what we like. Why don't you talk to Mr. Giggles and tell him to be calm like this, too? Giggles was calm, kind of. He's just, all of those siblings are just playful. Just playful as all get out. It's almost molting. Are you molting? Are you molting? I need to get my tubs out. I don't even have my tubs out yet. I'm going to put you back on your feet for just a minute. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to get my tubs out, get them in my order. So I was slacking. So we don't need the bowl anymore. So that's going to go over here. Tools. My prime bucket. I showed you Monday. I need to take my marker and probably read. Oh, get off my iPad. Get off my iPad. He's like, oh, let's have some fun. So it's prime. I'm live. Don't embarrass me. I just said you were a good boy. Now, don't do that. This is the cut in. And for prime, I want it to be between 3 and 5 inches. So if I lay a piece of fiber on here with the cut end here, sorry for the jostling. I have a good idea. Since your little holding cage is right there, you're going to sit there for just a minute. Good Lord. These guys. Oh, say. So if I was questioning if it's prime or seconds, the cut end, I lay the fiber here. And if it's between 3 and 5 inches, it's prime. If it's just under 3 inches to 1 inch, that's what I consider seconds. If it's under 1 inch, those are thirds. So that's our... I didn't close the top on them. And I try to line my tubs. I usually do this in the bunny barn. Oh, look at this. I didn't empty this. This is thirds. This is off of Giggles. Yes, it's all thirds. And somehow something got in there. I don't know what that is. But being thirds, we don't care. Hey, buddy, don't go anywhere. I should have shut the lid. He's like, oh, there's smells and things to do out here. Now, because, am I going to measure your wool? I should do that. Yep, I'm going to do that. So I have my empty tub from before. I'm just going to put Giggles thirds in there because I don't have my third bucket handy. Because when I get all done today, I'm going to keep track in his notes on how much prime, seconds, and thirds that I harvested. And then if I keep them like over the several years, I can take the average on how much he produced. Yes, we will keep track. Okay, we're going to do this again. We're all done fussing, farting around. Almost. I'm going to get my scissors. Yep. And this is my handy dandy tape measure. I just love it. Where you going, mister? You shouldn't need your toenails trimmed, but we'll do that after we harvest. One of my pet peeves, my personal pet peeves, is finding toenails in my prime, isn't it? But that happens so easily, you guys. It's so easy to do. And I have my shears right here. These are my wall. All right. Oh, come here. So this was the stuff we pulled off your belly. That's going to be seconds right there. Prime, seconds, and thirds. I'm going to go around and trim some. I beat hard. We're just going to get started up here since you're right here. Yep. Slightly webby. Slightly webby. How did a piece of feed get in here? There's a pebble of feed in your coat. What are you doing? How did that happen? God only knows. I'm trying to think of where he's located, if he's got a bunny on top. Oh, not on my iPad, mister. Not on my iPad. Whew. Okay, garbage. Okay. Can I get just a couple more snips? Are you feeling your oats now? He's awake. Oh, goodness gracious. I was just bragging on how well behaved you were, Mr. Macaroon. Macaroon. I'm going to be careful and not snip on you. I got some prime there, but most of it's seconds. There's a little bit of, oh, not on my iPad. Where you guys keep wanting to go over there? Yeah, this is slightly webby. And it's beautiful. But that's going to be in my seconds pile. Because my only prime, oh, sweetheart. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to get some of this stuff back here cut off. Because that's just easy. And what I'm going to do, since it's been about a month, and that's probably when I should have sheared them, about a month ago, I'm going to just snip things to make it even with what I trimmed before. And that's all going to go in my thirds pile. Since I've cleaned this out, and there's very little. Should I comb that out? So if there's a little webbing, you can brush it out. And of course, that brushings is always seconds, never prime. And what I'm calling prime is stuff that can go into my Sinfully soft bucket. Well, actually, I probably have two classifications of prime. Oop, thirds. I have baby prime. That might be show coat or regular 3 inches. But if it's baby, I don't put that in my Sinfully soft yarn either. It's generally their second or third coat, usually about 6 months, 8 months of age. I put that in there in our prime. But everything below that is hand spun, and it's gorgeous. For you rabbit people, if you get to have your hands on baby coat, it's to die for. It's my favorite. Yeah, can we switcheroo you around here? I have my YouTube channel open. And you stood on it. I try to leave the comments open so I can see if somebody comments. But you mucked me up, mister. We're going to switch you around since he's being good. I'm just going to do the other side. Hi. How are you? You're a pretty boy. Yes, you are. So this stuff, should I just pluck it? I might just pluck some of this. Hi, baby. With my regular giants, they aren't typically pluckable. But as most of you know, I've done some crossbreeding. So I'm introducing new genetics. A lot of it's good. Some of it is like questionable. And I'd say questionable because I personally, this is a personal thing. Everybody has their own preference. But I personally do not like plucking. And I think that came from when I first started. Oh, sweetheart. Okay. I had 2 litters, and it was my first go at really breeding Angoras, and these guys weren't giants. They were something else. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm not going to pluck anymore. Okay. Deep breath. Yeah, deep breath. If he's just really, truly uncomfortable with that, I'm not going to pressure him. Nope. Because the last thing we want is for him to have a bad experience. I don't want him to think it's like, oh, I get to go on her table again. She's going to do that other stuff that was horrible. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's not going to be horrible. So what I do, I try to be flexible with the rabbit. My intention was to get his underside, but he has other plans. So we're just going to snip for a little bit on top. There's just a little bit of resistance here. This stuff is free flowing and it's more than 3 inches that it's going to go into prime. You can see how this takes longer. Again, this isn't my normal process. Normally, I would just shear and sort as I go. Taking the scissors does take longer. This is just slightly webby. So that's going to go in my seconds. Did I caught you before you changed my channel? Brute. And when I go in there with my scissors, I always have it perpendicular, not like this. And so when I snip, I'm going to leave a little bit of wool and a little ridge on him, on his top side. He's not a show bunny. This is ever so slightly, and we're getting into the free-flowing stuff now. That's free-flowing. I caught you. I'm getting quicker. I'm getting quicker. Yep. Now, his body is feeling pretty good. Why didn't I show you? Maybe because you had too many furnishings, huh? This is free-flowing prime. That's going to be Sinfully soft yarn. Yep. There's some second coats growing in there. So we're going to have to... God. You know, I am going live. Don't embarrass me. We can't have this fight. I just told everybody how you were so sweet. You weren't as jumpy as Giggles, and now you're doing all this. Yes, you're doing all this. Oh, I'm getting some of these shorter pieces in there. That's not what I like, but I'm just going to do it. Because I waited too long. Yes, I did. I waited too long. If I would have sheared his top side about a month ago, I think I would have been fine. But life happened. Things just get in the way, and you do your very best to take care of the critters. Oh, now don't be spilling that. And your life. Oh, that's beautiful. Free flowing. That's going to be prime. Yes. I know. I said you were good. What's your problem? I didn't bring a backup bunny today, so you're it. You're it. Of course, it's almost 11:15, right? Can you hang out for another 15 minutes with me? Can you? Yeah. Now, another thing that I might do, I'll evaluate this fiber once I'm all done shearing. Is I might label it for sale and I put it for hand spinners. That's a little bit shorter. This is free flowing. And I'll show you why. Let's take a snip and I'll give you a break. Because this is a good section. I'm going to put that right here. And I'm going to give you a break. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to get me a piece of paper so it's on a white background. So maybe I can show this to you. I don't know if there's a way I can temporarily. Oh, look at that. I kind of did that. So this is a piece that I trimmed right off his top side. I'm going to separate it a little bit. This looks really beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Prime. It's all prime. It's free flowing. That's free flowing. was trying to show you some short pieces that might have, oh yeah, here's a lock. Here's what I'm looking for. This is, but if you can see right here, here on out, it's a little darker than this, and then it turns darker. He started his wool growth here, right, when he was a baby. This is his first haircut. Then he grows, and he's not an agouti, so he doesn't have rings. And then he kind of runs out of toner, so it starts to turn white, lighter. And then we get in this darker stuff. Well, you think it's a ring color just by looking at it, right? I did for years, but it's not. It's that new growth. So what we have is two lengths of fiber. We have this length and we have this length. And if I was to put this in my Sinfully soft milled yarn, I would have little flyaways, little pieces that would sneak out of the yarn and make pills. And we don't want that. So if I was, can I do this live? This is so scary, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to take just a little piece. This is this is the longer piece right here. It's kind of folded up. And this is pieces that this is his new coat. So that's his new growth coming in. It's nice and dark. And this is his original. So if I was to mill this, I'd have two lengths of fibers in my yarn. And that's a no-go. Now, if I'm a hand spinner, am I going to care? A little bit. But there's so much more we can do as we hand spin our yarns to control the way we make our yarns. Yeah. So as a hand spinner, this is primo, even though I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. And besides, it's his baby coat, right? That's another reminder, Tammy. That's another reminder. You don't want baby coats in your Sinfully soft, even though it's lovely. And the other thing I want to show you is the strength test. I see people do this with sheep wool all the time. Take a little tiny lock. Hi, buddy. Are you okay? He's breathing heavy. He's like, I don't know if I'm okay or not. This is weird. There's not much of a snap. But if you do this with wool, it snaps. I can hear something, but it doesn't break. I even did that with Betty Chew's wool, and it didn't break. It was gorgeous. So we're going to make some Betty yarn. We have so much of her prime. I've been selling some of it on Etsy, but the majority of it, I think I'm just going to make some Betty yarn. Why not? Let's give it a go. Every time I talk to somebody, it's funny, you get opinions, which some of it is very good opinions, and some of it's like, oh, that was weird. For instance, somebody told me a long time ago to prevent your mama from eating her babies, because that happens. It sounds gross. It is gross. But it's a vitamin deficiency, which that sounds very logical. My baby. But to feed him a hot dog. And they swear by it. I'm like, oh my God, that's just too weird. I can't do that. So I listen to people, I nod, give them the respect of another human being sharing their input, and I decide later whether I'm going to take that to heart or not. I never did feed my bunnies hot dogs, but there's some truth to that. I mean, there could be a vitamin deficiency. Hi, sweetheart. Can I put you on your back again? I know. Well, since I have decided that I'm going to use this for my hand spinners, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get my shears out. We're going to get this done so you're comfortable. So I'll do a piece, kind of a big piece, but that's okay. I'm going to try to grab it with one hand, if that's possible. I'm not in camera. I'm not used to doing this for the camera. And there's little bitty pieces of second cuts here. So this is my third bucket. I'm going to try to blow so it doesn't go into my prime bucket. It goes everywhere. That's like a good place to do that is outside. That's prime. That's beautiful. That's just beautiful, buddy. I'm trying to hold this so it's in camera and that you're comfortable. He's breathing heavy, aren't you, buddy? But you know I'm not going to hurt you. You're just going to get a haircut today. We did the hard part about a month ago. So I'm blowing off all those little second cuts. So I don't want that to go in my prime bucket. Yeah, so as I was talking to y'all, I just talked myself out of putting this in my Sinfully soft yarn. It is going to go up for sale in Etsy. And I personally hope I don't sell it. I wouldn't mind hand spinning this myself at all. So this is part of working with the rabbit. Since he's being good, I'm just going to continue. Yep, most of this is just lovely. Oh my gosh. But there's some new growth in there. And it's baby wool. It's so nice. It's so nice. And this stuff here, we're going to get my scissors. And we're going to trim that and put that in my dye pot pile. Here in about a month or two, we're going to have some dyeing. Maybe we'll make a live while we do that. I'm not going to get your little, parts. I'm just going to ramp. Yeah, it's okay, buddy. He's like, I'm nervous. I'm trying to hold him snug so he feels secure, but not so hard that he's in pain, obviously. You can get up. This is why sometimes it depends on your method if you want to go ahead and just trim them real fast and you have a pile of wool and you can get it all cleaned up later. I'm going to try to make it. I almost did. There we go. That is easier on the rabbit. But you know, I have found, because I am human, if I get them all trimmed, I think I'm done, and I put it aside, and like after I have lunch, I'm going to come back here and sort it. Well, I probably won't, because there's probably another bunny or other chores that I need to get done. And we do that. See, he's starting to relax. So this is part of working with your rabbit. Let him be comfortable. I was on a mission working on that side part, but he wasn't having it. It's like I had enough of that position. He was uncomfortable. Or sometimes when they keep being fussy like that, worst case scenarios, they might want to pee. So I give them pee breaks occasionally to put them back in the cage. Put them back in the cage. That's more seconds, more dye pot stuff. Shall we work on this since you're exposing your side to me so nice? I think we should. There's a brown spot. Isn't that funny? How he's growing at a different rate. That's why when I was trying to separate some of that wool, I'm getting a lot of second cuts going back over that. This is a perfect example of what not to do. Don't go over what you just trimmed. Yep. And while we have a few minutes and I have my scissors, it's almost 11 o'clock, so we're going to cut this out. We're going to just keep going for a few minutes longer. But this is how I like to use my scissors, especially during the winter. For non-showing rabbits, just go in there, make all these ridges. They look absolutely awful. But I put the wool I trimmed, gently push it back. I'm taking advantage of his chillness because he's just chilling. And I have absolutely no second cuts in here. This is pristine wool, except for this color is a new coat. There's a little piece that I cut before. And then that's prime. Ooh, I almost put that in the seconds pile. That's all prime. That's beautiful. Oh, Macaroon, you are so beautiful. And look at his legs. They're kind of stretched out. He's still panting heavy, so he's not completely relaxed, but he's like, I think he's resigned himself. She's going to do what she's going to do. Grab that lovely prime. Shall we get some up here? This is some that's a little webby. It's going to go into my seconds pile. I know, you're being such a good boy. Yep. I can tell that this is a little webby. Oh, there's some right there. Grab that prime. If I would take time to take him out to the blower, I could probably get that separated. That's not even webbed. That's just beautiful. Oh, Mr. Macaroon. You are just a good boy. Yep, you are. He's panting hard, but he's not as hard as he was a little while ago. He wasn't thrilled about being on his back. So I think I'm just going to keep trimming as long as he lets me, or as long as I can reach doing whatever I'm doing here. One little piece at a time. Oh, no seconds. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Are you going to get up now? You look ridiculous because you only have one side done. There's some loosey-goosey stuff over here I want to get. Can we try to do that? Can't. He's like, no, don't do that. I'm going to try to do the tuck and roll thing. Come here, darling. No, you need to be on your back just like that. You big rabbits. There's a lot of them. I have some girlfriends that have a lap, and they can do this on their lap, and they put their kind of head between their knees. And I'm a big girl, so I don't have a lap. You're on my iPad again. So I use the table. Yep. And my armpit. I don't want to make him mad. He's like, we just went through this, chick. But I think we can get just a little bit more, and then we'll maybe we'll just get a little bit more. Try not to poke them. These are thirds. Or not thirds, but they're seconds because they've been stained and they're webby. Hey, darling. Can we do this? Oh, there you go. That's a good hold. We got you now. He's kind of on his side, so maybe he won't be. He won't be quite as uncomfortable. Are you going to work with me here, Macaroon? I must have been hungry when I named you Macaroon. This stuff, I'm just going to pull that out. Those might, little bit of stained stuff, but my God, it's beautiful. It's going to go in my dye pot. Can I do that? Can I do that? That's going to go in my dye pot too. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to quit the live. You probably seen me enough. I'm jibber jabbering. I don't know if there's any comments. I can't see anything. And I'm going to shut the live down. And there's a couple of you still with me, aren't you? Little piece of thirds. Most of this can be just prime. Now this is a really excellent example of see his new growth. I'm just going to try to get that out of the way. We don't need that. I don't know what that was. This is partly webby. Not all of that is webby. Was any of that webby? I'm just seeing things. I'm just seeing things. He found a comfortable spot. My prime bucket is out of reach. Let me get out. I know. Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. For some reason, he likes to be on his side, so we're just going to let him. We're just going to let him. I'm going to set that there for now. And I take my scissors. I always try, you go in, keep it perpendicular, opposite of, and always try to know where the end of your scissors are, then snip. If you just dive in there and snip, that's when little accidents happen. Try to always know where you're snipping. And another trick I've learned is you want to kind of hold the wool back, but you don't want to hold the skin to pull the skin. Sometimes they have loose skin, so when you're pulling on that, you could be pulling the skin up and accidentally trim their skin. Look at that. You're being so good. This is so lovely. I can't wait to weigh this up. Some lucky hand spinner is going to have fun with this. Oh my gosh, it's all over my iPad. God. I got enough done on his side, so if he was to want to stand up, we could probably finish it. If he stands still while he's standing up. Well, he's still. I'm just going to trim, keep trimming, keep trimming. I'm getting excited because we're almost done. Gosh, that's beautiful. Honey pot. Oh my gosh, you're a gorgeous bunny. And you're being so good for me finally. Yes. He's breathing heavy, but not quite as heavy as he was. Oh, are we going to be able to? I can't hardly reach this. I'm going to want you to get up. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Here we go. Yeah, for years, I only had the scissors. I didn't have the shears. I did all my trimming with the scissors. The shears makes it go faster. Yep. I would normally want to put you up on your feet being so good, and still, I'm just going to try to get down here and not get any second cuts. We're just going to do what we can while you're being good. He's even laying his head down. He's resolved himself to this. Yes. There's just this little patch left. Should we just go ahead and finish that up? Are you going to let me? You're laying on this honey pot. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Don't wipe your nose. Where are you? We're on the home stretch, honey pot. Oh my gosh, Macaroon. This is such lovely fiber. Oh my goodness. And when I get you all done, I'll blow them off again just to make sure there's not any second cuts or loosey hairs floating around. Because the first thing he's going to do is give himself an all-over bath. He's going to lick himself till he doesn't have a tongue left. He's just going to like, what is she doing to me? He's going to just lick himself all over. So when he does that, I don't want him to ingest any hair that I might have had left over from this quick trim. And I'll let him recuperate a little bit. It might be a day or two. And then what I would normally do is make up my mind, is he going to be a future show bunny? If yes, I would shear him with my shears so he has a really even coat. Because you can see it's crazy jagged. When he grows out, it won't be real noticeable, but to really rank high, and we've got some really good rabbits in our area, he needs all the help he could get to be competitive. Look at this stuff. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. We're done, mister. Oh God, there's some more stuff right here you were laying on. We didn't get it. There's more. I fibbed. Can I get this all in one little snip? You get those little shorter bits. Oh, look at that. We got it. That's kind of short. That's kind of short. Should we try to tip this over? And then there's a leaf of some. What were you eating? How'd that get in there? Oh, beautiful. Look at you. You're all done. Yep. So I'm going to take a blower to him. And then I'm going to put him in his cage, let him lick himself. Wait a few days, and then we'll decide whether we're going to share him all together. Now, his body, it's hard to tell because you have such a weird haircut today. Here's the front of his hips. You're just weird. He's backing up. It's like, I could trim some of that, but we're just going to leave it. I'm not trying to pose him. This is his natural way of sitting. But his front feet are even with his eyes. His front of his feet are way up here. That's just weird. That's just weird, buddy. He's trying to back up. Are you trying to scrunch yourself? I want you to be relaxed. Can you be relaxed? No? There's nothing relaxing about this whatsoever, he says. Put your feet down. He's got this long shoulder. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, there's no posing that can look at this butt though. He's just right up there. This is not what we want in our giants or French or any kind of show bunny for the French or giants. Yeah. What we want is from the nape of the neck to go up like a football, so the height is right about here, and then to go down. There's a real lull here. My whole hand, that's 4 inches or so before it starts to go back up. This is not good. Not good, buddy. Thank you for your fiber, though. Yes, and your sweet personality. If I was to cull him and let him go to another home, he'd be a wool producer. Because we don't want you to breed. No. Yes. It was hard to tell with all that wool that you had on you. Now that you're back, it's about the same thing. There's just, yep. But we'll let you get back in your cage and have some fun. Give yourself a bath. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And yeah, Macaroon says, see ya. You guys have a great day. Say bye.